Man, what's up? I had Shaggy here a minute ago. I don't know where he went. He was just right here. It's kind of weird. He was here. Now he's gone. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So anyway, um, we're gonna have fun tonight. Um, we're gonna talk about one of my favorite subjects. That's for sure. Let's see. Um, I'm just checking around, see if anybody's on here yet. See if anybody's checking in yet. We got one or two people here yet so far. That's okay. I hate to sit here and have no sound, and no talking and all that stuff while people, wander in, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird to me, but I just don't like it, so I don't do it. And I try to play music, and what happens when I play music is I get censored out, because and it's weird. Um, and it's weird because I've got permission from everybody, to do their stuff. There's Deb Dingo. What's up, hon? Man, I hope you feel better. And I know I hugged you the other day, and I just want you to know that at my age, I'm only good for like one hug a day. That's it. That's all I'm good for. So it is what it is. I don't make any excuses. I mean, I'm kind of wide open, that kind of thing. Uh, anyway, I hope you feel better. I really do. That sucks, having that stuff this late in the game. I don't know. I don't know. It's still around. It's still floating around. It's still out there. I've done all the stuff you can do according to my doctor, and it's still there. It's still there. So let me check on a couple other spots here and see who's in town. Oh, we got a few people in town. That's good. Michael, what's up, brother? Birthday, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, today is my birthday, and you know what? I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you the truth. I mean, if anybody had told me like 30 or 40 years ago that I'd make it this far, I'd have laughed in their face. I'm glad. I'm glad because the alternative kind of sucks. But um, anyway, happy to be here with my kids, my grandkids, all that stuff. Jason, my brother, what's up? Happy birthday! Talking about you today. Your ears must have been burning. We're talking about. Actually, we were talking about tuning Detroits and how they act so much differently, and what a cool thing it is that a little bit of a tune can make such a difference in the motor and performance and stuff. And of course, your truck came up, both of them, and and it was funny. And I said you should call. I told the guy that was there at the shop. I said you should call Jason and talk to him. It's like night and day. How you tune your truck, how you set it up, how you drive it. It's all like night and day. And we've talked about it and talked about it. Different trucks, different motors, and still got guys out there that are convinced that you can go buy a brand new truck and everything will just be right with the world. Shame, what's up, my brother? Thank you, thank you. Um, anyway, that's not the subject for tonight, but I'm happy to talk about that anytime anybody wants to. One of my favorite things to talk about. What we're going to talk about tonight is load boards, and I see guys out there, and it's really. Hey Todd, what's up, brother? Thank you. Um, it's really troubling to me um, that it's really troubling to me that I see a lot of guys out there that have been in the business for a long, long time, and they're quitting, and they're getting out of the business, they're getting out of the industry, wanting to get away from it. Um, I I need the W9 tune that drives me crazy. I bet. Uh, it's unreal how much better the Freightliner runs with y'all's tune. Yeah, yeah, and I'm telling you, that Freightliner is not a real hot tune. We tune some trucks real hot, and and that's what happened. Guys that try to pull Black Mountain with a full load, or Saluda Hill, with a full load, and they were burning them up, getting them hotter than shit. And one truck before yours, we put that tune in it that yours has got, and I drove it over there and back a couple of times, and I said, man, that's it. That's what you want right there. My truck is trying to put me out of business. They'll do that. They'll do that. Anyway, we're going to talk about load boards tonight. That's our thing tonight. That's going to be our hot topic. Candace, you need to bring it over here and let me look at it. Load boards. I was around. I know you guys get tired of hearing this, but I don't. I don't get tired of talking about it, so I'll just talk about it. I was around when load boards started up. Because I was in this business a long, long time before the internet. And need a knock sensor now. Oh shit. Those are a chore. So we were forced to to do things a different way. We had to know people. We had to build relationships. We had to talk to people. Actually pick up the phone and talk to people. So forgive me, if I'm a little old school about that and a little bit kind of sort of stuck in my way about that. But it works to this day. And that's how we still run our company. That's how we still run our business. And that's what we want to do. Left lane with a lefty. What up, Charles? What's up, man? Anyway, I was around when load boards first started up, when they first started doing this thing, posting loads on the internet. And I actually had a lot of conversations with the guy that started Truck Stop. And when he was putting it together, and do you think this would work? Do you think that would work? How would this work? How would this work? And I was around for that. and it was just a whole different time. But the idea back then, and your dog is driving mine crazy. He's had company all week. My son came up with his two dogs, and they've been having like a dog-o-rama down there, just crazy dog stuff. Anyway, he'll shut up in a minute maybe. Anyway, I was around when the load boards started up, and it just got really hectic these last few years because, and I'm going to say it, you guys know me. I speak for myself. Okay, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I never do that. I don't think that anybody should ever just take my word for stuff and then just go with it. I think you should check it out yourself and do your own stuff. I think that's great. Mara, what's up? And everybody tries to change things and change the language and change the communication and all that stuff. For instance, when I was young, when I was growing up, if you were a truck driver, that was a high compliment. That was like, you were a real guy, girl. You were really doing something. You were, it was an honorable thing. And these cartoon characters started coming up. Keep on trucking. Remember that in the 70s? And He'd be this clown-looking guy with the big shoes, going on. So if you were a truck driver, you were a real guy. You were the real deal. You're the real thing. And if you were a trucker, then you were this funny-looking little dude on the billboards and on the posters and stuff. So anyway, it was now all of a sudden, it's the opposite. If you're a trucker, then you're the real thing. And if you're a truck driver, you're just a steering wheel holder. So that's changed over the years. And then a few years back, people changed the language when it came to a backhaul. A backhaul. There's no such thing as a backhaul. Well, there's no such thing as a backhaul. The way that came about, and this ties into our talk about low boards. The way that came about is, back in those days, everybody had customers. They had a home-based customer, in their area, in their region, and maybe a couple out, here and there. And you get phone numbers. If you ran into the same areas most of the time, you get phone numbers and you go there and you'd pick up another load. Hopefully, back to your home domicile so that you could get your truck back in your regular customer and keep them happy, keep them serviced, keep them going. So the word backhaul came from that. And then all of a sudden you had this whole group of people that got into our business. And they decided that you could go out, buy a truck, buy a trailer, get your own authority, and turn on DAT or truck stop or whatever your pleasure is, 1, 2, 3, whatever, and make a living just hauling that freight. And Shaggy was here a minute ago, but he jumped out. I don't know what happened. He bailed out. We've been talking for years and years and years that everybody needs to get their own freight. So when I'm on social media and I see these guys get on there and go, well, I was doing this, and the broker's a son of a bitch. Well, this broker's a real asshole. And some of them are. Some of them really, really are. They really are. And a lot of them don't know anything about the business. But there they are. They got a cousin that's got some freight, or they go to church with somebody that's got some freight. And all of a sudden, they're a broker. All of a sudden, they've got this freight and they put it out there. Now, that's not the case in my case. I got into brokers. I was a truck driver and a trucking company owner a long time before I ever started brokering freight. And so it was kind of the opposite with me. But those people are out there. Those people are out there. So, they go, well, we got the trucks and we got this and we got that. Well, when I see these comments on social media, this broker's a real son of a bitch. And, I hate dealing with brokers. Brokers are sucking the life out of the industry. My standard response to that is, hey, if you don't like brokers, don't use them. Don't use them. Go get your own freight, because that's what the broker did. He got his own freight. Go get your own freight. Set your own rates. Tell them where you'll run and where you won't run and what you can do and what you can't do. And deal with the customers direct. And then you don't ever have to deal with a broker. I will tell you this. Out of all the people I talk to all day, every day, and it's a lot of people, out of all the people I talk to every day, 9 out of 10 of the shippers that I talk to would much, much, much rather deal with people with trucks than they would deal with brokers. They don't like dealing with brokers. They don't want to deal with brokers. So, I don't know why that is. I don't know. Well, I do know why that is. They want to go home and go to sleep and not worry about whether their freight's getting picked up and delivered, because they got customers too, right? So most of the trucks, we talk about this. Charles Bundy is on here, and he, I use him as an example all the time, because a lot of his friends over in East Tennessee are growing. They're buying big Peterbilts, nice big brand new Peterbilts, and they're putting drivers in them, and they're growing. And some of the other companies that I know out there are growing. In a lot of cases, a lot of the companies I see, the only reason they're not growing is because they can't find enough drivers to fill their trucks up. Otherwise, they're growing. Now, You want to talk about the driver shortage? Okay, try getting a parking spot in a truck stop after 4 o'clock. Michael says shippers are tired of being lied to by the brokers saying they have trucks and then they don't and loads fall off. Yeah, I've got a customer and she's a real pain in the ass, and her big thing is rates. You know, every time you talk to her, she brings up rates, and I'm not going to talk about rates to her. You know, my rates are my rates. If you want me to haul your freight, you know, this is what we charge. And she's brought in brokers, and she'll call me up and she'll say, well, you're going to have to drop your rates now because I got this new broker and his rates are a lot cheaper. And I said, you know what, I'm going to stay where I'm at, but I'm going to pull my drop trailers off your yard. Is your broker putting drop trailers in there for you to load at your convenience? No? Well, I'm going to pull mine out. And then when you call me back to do these lanes that I've been doing for you for years, my rates are going to go up. So just so you know, I'm going to go out and fill those trucks with other freight. I'm going to go keep my drivers busy. I'm going to keep my company busy. I'm not going to talk to you about rates anymore. I'm tired of it. If you think a broker can do a better job, let them, for so much cheaper. You know, look, every shipper out there, every single one. We had this conversation with Nick earlier. Every single shipper out there wants everything done for nothing, as cheap as possible. I don't care who they are. That's what they want. They want you to pick it up on time. They want you to deliver it on time. They want you to be nice to them and nice to their customers. They don't want you to damage their stuff, and they want you to do that as cheap as you will possibly do it, no matter who they are. Hey, happy birthday. Thank you. Appreciate it. They all want that. I don't care who they are. They all want that. You know, I've never had a customer tell me, yeah, I don't think you're charging me enough. You need to go way up on your rates. Never had that happen. So they all want it done cheap. And if you're the new guy coming trying to get in, they're going to tell you, yeah, you're too high. I don't care if you quote $1.25. Yeah, you're too. I got 8 guys cheaper than you. I got them all, because their job to keep their boss happy is to get you to do it for nothing. That's the business we're in. Those are the people that we deal with. So a lot of that freight that you see on the broker boards, in the first place, it's all shit. It's all junk. It's junk freight. It's leftover freight that nobody wants. It's leftover freight that the people that typically haul it either don't want that lane because it doesn't work for them, because they don't have a backhaul. Get it? Or it goes into a crummy place where rates are depressed and they don't want to do it. There used to be a thing called professionalism. It's about dead anymore. Yeah, but not with us. Not here. We're going to do it. So when you get on the broker boards, if you buy a truck and a trailer and you're trying to make a living just hauling the freight that's on the broker boards, that's the business that you are in. That's where you compete. And right now, you know, produce season hasn't really started yet. It's coming. You know, there was 200 loads of produce around Orlando today. That's a first. That's melons. You know, and there's brokers down there trying to get people to haul it for $1.50. If you do that, you're a fool. But that's the game. That's the business we're in. Michelle, I'm here on my best behavior. Is that your best behavior? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I don't know. Might like it kind of rough one of these days. Anyway, if you're just trying to make a living running nothing but load boards and you don't have any direct customers at all, okay, that's the world that you're in. And until people understand that it's same with brokers, they're going to continue to complain. Learn the art of negotiation. Yeah. There's some brokers out there. I'm one. I use the same carriers all the time. They're under contract with me for a year, 2 years at a time. Depends. I think that's a shot. Anyway, I use the same guys all the time. My freight doesn't go on load boards. It never has. It's not going to. The only time I put a load on a load board is if one of my onesie-twosie customers calls me on a Friday afternoon and somebody fell off a load and, you know, everything's gone to shit and, you know, they're mad, they're upset. And Shaggy said he's tired. Oh, I get it. That wasn't a shot. Glad you figured out my typo. The anyway, that's if that's the business that you're in, if you're in that business that you get up in the mornings and you turn on the low boards, and that's that's where you're going to try to make your living, those are the people that you're competing with. You're competing with a guy or girl that that has a customer. You're competing with a guy or girl that has a customer, and that's who you're competing with. That's who you're competing. That's who you're in competition with. I'll give you an example. You'll like this. I have a friend. I've given this example before, but I want to give it again. I think it's important. I have a friend here in Nashville that's got an account, and they send loads to another one of their plants. It's an interplant move from Nashville to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Usually 4 or 5 loads a week, and they pay $2,500 for that load. They have been for about 2 years. And I looked on DAT the other day, and brokers are trying to push that load out the door, that same lane, Nashville to Green Bay, for $1,200. And they think they're doing you a big favor to give you $1,200. And they're going to tell you, well, $1,200, that's almost $3 a mile. We can't do any better than that. And if you can't run for that, gee, I don't know what to tell you. But in the meantime, my friend pulls 4 or 5 of those loads a week for $1,000 or more per load. So if it's 5 loads a week, that's $5,000 a week difference in their revenue. So when they get to Green Bay, as everybody knows that's been in the business for a couple of weeks, as everybody knows, when you get to Green Bay, there's not a whole lot of freight up there. There's not a whole lot going on in Green Bay, unless you got a reefer or unless you're tied in with, Schneider or one of the companies that haul paper out of there. There's not a whole lot going on up there. So you're going to have to deadhead back into at least, central Wisconsin, maybe even Chicago to get a load coming back. That back haul, okay, to get a load coming back to get it on one of those big loads. Well, my friend, because they're getting $1,000 more to go up there, if a load pops up for $1.80, $2, $2.20, I mean, they grab it and come back so they can get another one of those, high-paying loads. Everybody does it. This is not a new thing. These people that are out there screaming about brokers and screaming about transparency and screaming, they don't really want transparency. What they really want is for the government to step in and regulate brokers to the point that they only make 5%. I'm here to tell you, if they do that, the brokers are going to countersue and they'll have your ass running for 5%. Good luck with that. Once they start regulating in Washington, they keep going. They always have. History tells us that that's the truth. Okay? So, if you don't have a direct customer, you need to sign up with Shaggy and learn how to get one. Or just listen to us on Tuesday nights and we'll help you, get one. Is it really the broker fault? I posted a load today in rates people told me was just stupid cheap. Is it really the broker's fault? You won't ever catch me blaming them. There are some brokers out there that'll price gouge. There are some out there that will do that. And they're in the business for the same reason I am and the same reason you are and the same reason everybody else is. They they want to make money, and if they can, they will. It's just like Walmart. They have no freaking idea what they're asking for. No, they don't. So you go to Walmart and they got a pair of shoes in there and they're brand spanking new and they're $36. and they got 300 pairs of them. And you go back a couple weeks later, and they're sold down, and now they only got like some weird sizes left, and this and that, you know. And so those $36 shoes now they're $11. Same shoes, $36. 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, they're $11. You guys have seen this, okay? That's the same thing that happens on a broker board. You know, a load will come out there cheap, cheap, cheap. And then by the end of the day, if they haven't moved it, it'll go up, 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 up to the point that they lose money on the load, the brokers. And yes, that happens, believe it or not. And then they'll book it with the first guy that'll take it. So those are the rules that you're competing in. That's the business that you're in. The broker boards, the load boards, DAT, and all those things, they were never designed to operate your business on full time. They're not there for that. They are designed to go into a customer, hit them with lower rates, and move the freight out of there fast and cheap on guys that are using it to get back to their home domicile. That's what they're there for. Now, somebody's going to disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm not going to argue with you. Adam say maybe 1 out of 10. But I'm not going to argue tonight. I'm just telling you what I know from experience and 40 years of doing this. If you buy a truck and a trailer and get your insurance and get your authority and do all this stuff and jump out there and try to make a living on the load boards, that's the business that you're in. If you go get a direct customer, you'll find out really, really, really fast that it's a whole different animal. And, you know, when I see these people, these good American people sitting there screaming, we want transparency. No, you don't. You really don't. What are you going to do at that rate if you know what it is? Because if you call me and you say, what are you getting paid for that rate? And I tell you, that doesn't mean I'm going to give it all to you. I'm not. I've got people to pay too in a business. I've got a building. I've got computers. I got computer programs. I got phones. I got to keep my customers happy. I got to go see them. You know, some of them 4 or 5 times a year, sometimes more. I got one customer, I got to go by there once a month, or she gets mad, got to take them to dinner. That's always $150, $200, depending on who she brings. You know, I got to pay for all that too. And at the end of the day, I've got to make a living. So it just because you know how much I'm charging for a load to a customer, doesn't mean I'm going to give it to you. And if the government comes up and says, well, from now on, you can only make 5%. I'm here to tell you right now, I'll never do it. I'll never do it. And neither will the other brokers, because you can't. You just can't. You can't do it. These stupid people that get on the internet and they go, oh, you got a computer and a phone. Well, if that's the case, and it's all so easy, go get your own freight. That's what I did. Go out there and get your own freight and give me a call and tell me that all I got invested is a computer and a phone. I guess you think this freight falls out of the sky. You must be the same guy that thinks that beef comes from a grocery store and tomatoes come from a grocery store. They don't. They don't. Beef comes from ranchers. Okay? Tomatoes come from growers. And they're put in the earth, they grow, they're cultivated, they're picked, they're harvested, they're cleaned, they're packed, and then they're shipped in one of your trucks to a store, and then they go on the shelf. How much is that 38-cent tomato worth now? How much is that load of freight worth now? So I didn't come on here. That exact scenario happened to a load I took out of California. It's like broker kept raising the rate. I had 3 conversations with him before I took the load. He kept saying, I don't have that much in it. So I just waited him out. Yeah, because at the end of the day, Mara, he's got 2 choices. He's got a decision that he has to make. At the end of the day, he's got 2 choices. One, he can pay you, and in which case it might cost him a little money to do that. He can pay you. Or 2, he can give that load back to the customer and lose the customer. But that's it. There's nothing else. You know, there are no other great choices. I mean, you can sit there and deal the deck of cards all night long, all you want to, and just go crazy. The answer is going to keep coming up the same, no matter how many times you deal the cards. You got 2 choices. You can either pay the guy or girl in your case, get the load picked up, get it delivered, keep everybody happy, or you can call your customer the next morning, or they'll call you, worse yet. They'll call you and go, why didn't you pick up my load last night like you said you would? That's it. Those are the choices that you have. But now, if you're in a truck and you're driving a truck and you call a broker, and this happens every day, all day, and you say, I want this, I'll do it for $4 a mile, and a broker agrees to it, and then 5 minutes after you hang up, another broker calls and he offers you a similar load, something kind of close to it, and he offers you $4.40 a mile. Then you call that broker back and you go, my clutch just went out. I'm going to be able to pick your load. That happens to me every day. That's called falling off. Fell off a load. Had that load covered. Now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I got to try to cover it again. What about that? You're not really thinking about that, are you? What are you going to do when you fall off? You going to pay me for that? You want me to pay you if you have to wait. Here's what you want from me. Here's what you want from a broker. 9 out of 10 of the people that we use on the broker boards, which, like I said, is almost never, because there's all the reasons for that. But here's what they want. They want a 40% fuel advance. Yeah, I need that advance. Get me some push water. Get on over there. They want me to pay them 40% up front before they even get out of the yard. I'm already loaded now. Just go ahead and give me that 40%. And then the minute they get empty, they want the other 60%. That minute. Doesn't really matter to them if I have to wait 30 days or 45 days for my money. They want me to finance their truck for them. They want me to find a customer, go out there and get a customer, whatever it takes, and it ain't easy. They want me to get a customer. They want me to do the rates for them with that customer so that the customer will give me loads. They want me to schedule the pickup and schedule the delivery for them, basically be their dispatcher for them. Then they want me to give them 40% up front and 60% the minute they get empty. And they want me to do that. Some of these assholes want me to do that for 5%. Wow. Go find your own customers. And you know what? It breaks my heart to see people, Candace say, I guess I'm weird because when I commit to a load, I commit to it. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. And that's a dick move. Yeah, it's a dick move. But they do it all the time, every day. Every day. And here's something else that happens. You'll book a load on a carrier. And we've got a customer that moves freight out of Tampa every once in a while back up to Tennessee. And not very often, but when we do, we'll put that one on the load board because we don't use people that run Florida all the time. But we'll put that load on the load board. And this has happened, I don't know, 20 times. We'll stick it on the load board and somebody will call, hey, I see you got a load coming out of Tampa going back up to Nashville. Yes, I do. It's 28,000 pounds, one pick, one drop, first come, first serve on both ends. Easy on, easy off. I've got $2 a mile. That's what I got, which is about what I got in it. I go, okay, I'll take it. You go, okay. So then you got to check out their insurance. You got to check out their authority. Do all your due diligence, do your work. And then, you get them set up on the load. Their driver calls in or emails or whatever, and you put them on the load. You give them, and then somebody will call and say, while that's going on, 2 or 3 other guys will call and they'll say, you still got that load in Tampa? No, sir. No, sir. I'm sorry. I just booked it with a carrier and he's going over there to pick it up. Well, listen, buddy, I don't know what you booked it for. I don't really care. Okay. I'll do it for $200 less. Just call him back and tell him it canceled and give it to me. I'll do it for $200 less. That happens every day. Those are your friends. Those are your brothers and your sisters. Shaggy and I talked here for years. We talked for years before all this happened. And Sparky Anderson and I talked for years and said, look, while it's good and the rates are high and everything's moving and everything's happening, you need to get dug in somewhere. You need to build a relationship and get there and get set up with those people and, prove yourself to them, let them prove themselves to you, and you need to do business with those people because it won't always be this way. It won't. What goes up comes down. In this business, it's cyclical, whether you like it or not. It comes and goes. And we said that for 2 years, and then sure enough, it hit. And everybody's sitting there going, "Oh, these sons of bitches are fucking me now. I want transparency." For what? For what? What are you going to do with that number when you get it? It's like a dog chasing a truck. What are you going to do? It's a total TQL move. My kid's sick and I can't load. I've reject product 3. My load canceling going to your load. You told me yesterday you were going 10 miles away already. I could go on and on. Yeah, me too. Candace say I had 2 loads set up. The first one fell out late in the day and couldn't find anything else going to where the second one was. I did head 4 miles away to get that second load because I had made the commitment to it already. Yeah. Shane Ferris, once you're booked, stop looking. There is no temptation or regret. I'm with you 100%. Anybody that falls off of one of our loads immediately goes on our no-load list. And believe me when I tell you, when my son puts you on his no-load list, you live there until you die. You're never coming off it. You can call him. You can beg him. You can say anything you want to. You can make all the excuses. You can threaten him, which is kind of funny to me because my son's a big kid. He likes it when some redneck truck driver threatens him. He give him directions to the office. He's one of those. So, the enemy ain't always who you think it is. Load boards are not built for or designed to make a living. That's not what they do. That's not why they're there. Number one, if a load's on a load board, it's a shitload that nobody wanted in the first place, or that somebody didn't pick up, or one of the big carriers didn't even want to bid on. That's why it's there. That's why it's there. So you're out there fighting right now with 300 other trucks over the same scrap of meat, and the scrap of meat's not really worth fighting over to start with. Well, what you really need to do is back up, jack up, get focused, and go out and find yourself a couple of customers. And if you run in the same lanes, I don't care where it is. You got these guys today. I don't go to Chicago. I ain't doing that. Okay, well, Chicago's a head haul market. See, that's another term you might not be familiar with. Head haul. That means there's always more freight than there is trucks there. Head haul. Okay, so if you got drivers and you refuse to go to Chicago, well, okay, freight's typically anywhere from $1 to $2 a mile more coming out of there than it is pretty much anywhere else in the Midwest. But you don't want to go there because you don't like it. So there you go. Are you in business or are you a tourist? What are you doing here? Why are you here? Now, to everybody that already knows all this stuff, they're passive income. I love that. I love Mara, you said that the other day, and I damn near died. Passive income. Yeah. To me, that's what dispatch services are and the people that use them. And guys, I don't want to see anybody that's been in this business for 20 or 30 years go under. I don't want to see that. I hate it. It makes me sick to my stomach to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see, guys that have busted their ass out here and busted their ass out here go under. I don't want to see that. But this is a business. That's what it is. And these are the rules in this business. And if you want to be in this business, you're going to have to take a real deep breath and jump in with both feet and decide that you want to compete. I don't know very many people, right now especially, for Candace, I refuse to go to New Jersey. I'll pretty much anywhere else. That's on you. I'll go there. My dad always used to say, and I'm a firm believer, there's no such thing as a bad load, just a bad rate. Although I have given in and gone to New Jersey for $5 a mile. You just proved my point. Mara say, for those who don't know, there's a phrase these new TikTok truckers use. I'm dying. Oh, well, I don't care about TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I got a computer guy that takes care of our computers, all of our security, and he's been doing it for years and years. He won't let us on TikTok. He I had a hell of a time getting him to let me on Facebook. He hated that, and I still argue with him all the time about Facebook. But he absolutely, I mean, he threatened to quit if we downloaded TikTok. He won't let us on there. He says it's dangerous. So that's the business we're in. That's who we are. We've always made our living, small guys, medium-sized guys. We've always made our living in the gray areas, those areas where the big carriers can't play or won't play or don't play, And in my business, in the last 5 years, J.B. Hunt, Schneider, Swift, and Prime have all tried to come in and bully me out. And not one of them lasted a year. Not one. Not one. Fortunately, for me, my customer was smart enough to see that coming, so we kept what we had. They tried them in other areas, and they went away real fast. The last big one to come in was Cardinal. And they came in, and they were going to set the world on fire and take over the whole world. And they quit right in the middle of their contract and walked out the door. Left them hung. Walked right out the door. So then we had one of those famous Sunday morning conference calls with all the carriers. How in the hell are we going to cover all these loads tomorrow? And we got most of them, not all of them. I went to Central Park once because the money was too good, and it was a middle of the night move. Well, I've been a lot of places, a lot of places. You want to know something funny? We used to haul flowers, cut flowers, and they delivered to wholesalers and florists and all these people. And on any given week, the route that I did pretty much every week was actually one of the easy ones. I went up to Wisconsin every week. And on my route, it started in Florida. On my route, the cities that I had to drop in started with Cincinnati, then bounce over to Indianapolis. I had that, then bounce, a couple of back roads up to Chicago, and I'd have 12 or 13 drops in and around Chicago. Then I have Milwaukee and a couple other drops there, and then I'd have my last 2 drops were in Green Bay every week, and I had to hand unload that stuff. And 9 out of 10 of the places you go to when you do that are not built for trucks. You're not supposed to be there. So after doing that for about 7 years, if somebody gives me a load and they go, okay, this is going to be a tough one, well, good luck. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I've been there, done that. But guys, ain't it the truth? This is the business that we're in. This is who we are, okay? If you're living on a low board right now, I hate it for you. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Things are going to loosen up in the next couple of weeks because produce season's starting up. And when produce season's not going on, a lot of those guys with those big shiny produce trucks, they get on the low boards and they haul that freight. And all they really care about when it's not produce season is making enough money to pay for the fuel and pay for the driver and keep them employed and keep them happy. Once produce season starts, they'll jump over there, and that's where they make their money for the year. That's how they've got it planned. That's what they do. So that's 200,000 trucks that'll come off the boards, in the next few weeks, a month or so. And, all that freight will then be a lot more competitive. It'll be available, So you got the automotive industry, they fire up and they get hot and heavy. But in July, right around July 4th, the big automotive plants shut down for 2 weeks at the same time, and they go on vacation. So a lot of those carriers that are involved in automotive, and that's a couple 100,000 trucks, okay? Most of the big boys haul automotive these days. But a lot of those trucks will be on the load boards for, a couple of weeks to keep their drivers busy. So that's when you see a lag there. Check me on this. I mean, go back and check history on that, and you'll find that I'm right about this. So things will loosen up a little bit, but I want you to listen, okay? I told you this a year ago. Shaggy told you this. Sparky told you this. Mara told you this. We all told you this. Jess told you this. Everybody that gets on this show has told you this. And Sparky said about 9 months ago, 10 months ago, he and I were talking one night. And we do that a lot because he trucks at night, and he'll call me and we talk about all this stuff. He said, you know what, Bubba? And this is about 10 months ago. He said, you know what, Bubba? He said, these new guys, he said, if they're not dug in by now with somebody, if they're not already contracted with somebody, if they don't have a relationship, hell, it might be too late. Might just be too late. Damn, I'd hate to know I don't. And that's happened. And it's happened. And everybody's screaming. You know, a year and a half ago when rates were $4 a mile, you didn't hear anybody talk about transparency. Not one person, ever. You didn't hear anybody talk about the broker screwed me, the broker did this, the broker did that. You didn't hear it from one person. What I heard a lot of was, yeah, I'll move it for you, but I'm going to need 450 in my own, even start my truck for no less than that. You're wasting your damn time, boy. I heard that a bunch. Who's the boy now? I'm old school. You know, I'm an old school guy. I put those kind of people. I hang up on them and I put them on a little list over there. I don't want to talk to people like that. I don't want to do business with people like that. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about it. And I give you my word on this because I know a lot of people in the business. I've been doing it for a long time. I know a lot of brokers that feel the same way I do. The same way I do. So you got a lot of trucks out there competing for freight, and they'll cut your throat and anybody else's throat that gets in their way to get it. And they'll do it for nothing because all they got to pay for is fuel and their driver pay for another month or so. Then they go back to making $3 to $4 a mile. Okay? You got those guys. You know, everybody, yeah, freight's a whole lot slower than it used to be. They're talking about 3 or 4 months ago. First quarter is always slow in the freight business. You know why? There's no produce moving. There's no fresh produce moving. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. That's 200,000 trucks out of the mix. Now they're hauling your freight, and they'll do it for nothing because they don't care. They'll call up after you've already taken a load. They'll call that broker, and they'll say, "I don't know who you gave it to, but I tell you what, call them and tell them they can't load it, and I'll do it for $200 less." And I got my truck's 10 miles away. I can pick that truck up. I can pick that load up in 30 minutes. I'm right on top of it. They do it to each other. They do it to each other all day, every day. All day, every day. That's the flip side of these people about these brokers. They're screwing everybody, and I'm sick and tired of it. And we're going to regulate them. No, you're not, because here's what'll happen next. They kicked TIA out of the deal at NASDAQ. They kicked them out of their deal, and that was actually okay with TIA because they made their play. They played their cards. The next move is going to be to sue, take it to court. It will go to the Supreme Court. Do you think for a second that the Supreme Court is going to rule? The Supreme Court that we have now, do you think that they're going to rule and say that the fair market no longer exists? Because if you regulate brokers, are you going to regulate tennis shoe salesmen that sell their shoes to Walmart? Are you going to regulate produce salesmen that sell their tomatoes to Walmart or Kroger? You regulate them too? Going to keep them at 5%? Who else are you going to regulate? How about the My Pillow guy? You going to regulate him? He can only make 5% on his pillows now? Who else are you going to regulate? Everybody? You're not. You're not. I didn't come on here tonight to bash anybody or to try to make anybody feel bad or to try to make anybody feel small. I came on here tonight because what we try to do here is help people. That's what we do. And you need to go get a customer, even a small customer. And if you don't make excuses, don't talk shit, don't cry, don't whine. God, I hate that. If you're a whiner, you're not going to make it in this business anyway. You're never going to make it in this business. Candace say, yeah, I've had loads subtly canceled. I had a guy call me today, told me last year he doesn't start his truck for $5 or less. Today he was trying to make me feel bad because he's going broke. Well, I didn't get on here to do that. That's not what I'm here for. If you need help finding customers, don't make excuses. I hear this every day. I only got one truck. Ain't nobody going to give me no freight. Tell that to Deb Dingo. I don't know if she's still on here or not. But look on the G3 Trucks and Freight page. Look on that page. That post is pinned to the top, and it has been for a year. That's the first post I want everybody to read. That's Deb Dingo talking about how she walked into a customer by herself with her one truck and got that customer. And I met Deb Dingo. She's a sweetheart. But she ain't even from here. She's from out of town. Deb Dingo, get it? She ain't from here. And she walked in there and got that customer. And they give her freight all the time. And they love her. They don't even question her about rates. She hauls the loads, she sends them a bill, and they pay that bill on Friday. She doesn't even have to wait for money. She can do that. She can do that. We had another guy that Shaggy and I trained. He's over in Columbus, Indiana. And he had one truck. And, he was wanting to know he's a farmer. He has a farm. And he's a pretty big farm. And he was looking for a direct customer because we told him that's what you need to do. So he got involved with a co-op over there, 8 miles from his farm. Got a place where he buys a lot of his stuff. He walked in there and goes, who hauls this shit? And the guy said, we do. He said, well, why don't you let me haul it? I'm your customer. He said, okay. Now he's got 4 trucks that haul for them, and they keep all 4 of his trucks busy, and they're trying to get him to buy more trucks, but he doesn't want to because he's a farmer. He's a farmer. But he's got 4 trucks, nice Peterbilt, big trucks, and he keeps them all 4 very busy hauling for that customer. There's stuff out there, guys. See, that's not an account that Schneider wants. They don't want that account. It's too little for them. Their drivers don't have time for that. But it's perfect for this guy. He's got 4 trucks, which is basically 3 more than he ever wanted. But he's running those trucks for those people. I could go on and on and on and on. About stories like that, people all over the place. And yeah, you got to work at it. And yeah, you got to get on the phone. And yeah, you got to build some relationships. Yeah, you got to do those things to make it work. You've got to do those things to make it work. But it's out there. Off topic, what's a good rate for El Paso to Portland, Oregon? Right now, I'm gonna say a minimum of 330, 340 minimum plus fuel. It's tough out here with the rates. I know it is, Dennis. I know. But we're talking about low boards, and that's why we're talking about low boards. Because my customers' rates have not fallen at all. I'm trying to go through some of the comments, guys. I'm sorry I'm missing a lot of it. Deb has COVID. She is sick. Yes, Michelle, and she hugged me last week, too. But I'm fine. I feel pretty good. I mean, for a man that got a year older today and fat guy, Deb did the work they won't do. That's why they say it's not possible. Yeah, and they kill it. They overthink it before they even try. Before they even try to get into the customer. They overthink it. Yeah, they're not going to talk to me. Sure they will. Of course they will. I mean, will the director of transportation at Procter and Gamble talk to you? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. Tractor Supply. I happen to know the lady that runs all their transportation for their whole corporate place. I know her very, very, very well. Very well. She used to work for me a long time ago. She's the corporate vice president of transportation. She won't talk to you unless you've got 150 trucks because She's got big lanes to fill. She tries to divvy it all up by distribution center. And if you don't have enough trucks to handle at least 30 or 40% of that, she doesn't have time to work with. Now, that said, she will use a carrier. Lovely with a happy birthday to you, old man. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I hate getting old, Lefty. God damn it, I do. But the alternative sucks. So I'm just going to ride with it. Shit. Stay with it. I told Deb Dingo, I said, did I hug you last week? She said, only once. I said, well, honey, at my age, that's all I'm good for. I ain't making no excuses. I'm old. This is the business that we're in, guys. You find yourself a customer, a smaller customer, a medium-sized customer. You walk in there and you tell them, here's what I can do. Or better yet, if you're really smart and you're really in this business, you'll say, where do you need help? Well, I have trouble getting people to go to New Jersey. Nobody wants to go to New Jersey. Take it. Say, I'll do it. I mean, my rates up to New Jersey aren't cheap, but I'll do it if you'll let me get my foot in the door and haul freight for you. By God, I'll do it. And do it. Shut up and do it. And then after you've been doing it for a month or so, walk back in there and say, how's that New Jersey going? She'll go, oh, God, thank you so much. And you go, okay, can I have a little bit, just a little bit of butter with them biscuits? Can you give me a lane or two that works for me? They know. They're not stupid. They know what you're there for. Oh, yeah, okay. When you do that, even if it's you, Michelle, even if it's you, keep doing the New Jersey and do it right and do it on time and smile. Keep doing it. You want to know why? Because if you quit, that's how you got your foot in the door. And when you quit, the next guy's going to get his foot in the door the exact same way. And he's going to come and get all that butter off of your biscuits. He might have 5 more trucks than you do. He might have, lanes that he wants to do that he can do cheaper than you can. Who knows? It's a very competitive business that we're in. Very competitive. Keep doing it. If you get it and you get your foot in the door, stay there. Do the business. Turn it into a thing. Find yourself another direct customer on that other end, because now you're going over there once a week or twice a week or once a month, whatever that routine is. Find yourself another direct customer coming back this way and turn it into a round trip. I used to know a little girl that worked for me at one of the companies I was doing a consulting job for. She could do that like ringing a damn bell. She didn't miss a beat. She was young, smart, cool, and she'll say, hey, we're putting 8 trucks a week into Green Bay, Wisconsin. How come we don't have freight coming out of there? I'll go, well, gee whiz, I don't know. Why don't you call and find out? And within a week or so, she'd find some, and she'd get in there and bid it. Now we're doing round trips. Now our trucks are staying loaded all the time with customer freight that typically pays 30 to 40% more than the freight you're hauling for a broker. I don't know, guys. Is this making sense to anybody? You can do it. Listen to me. You can do this. I don't care if you got 1 truck or 20 or 50. You can do this. Get off these broker boards. Use them for what they're designed for, to find you a load back to your domicile so that you can get another load and go make your money. Go make your money. And I know a lot of these guys on social media, he's full of shit, you can't do that, and them brokers, them some agents they're screwing me. That's because you're stupid. That's why. That's because you're stupid. That's because you don't understand the business. That's because you listen to dickheads on social media, like me. That's because you do that instead of figuring out that this is a business. It's not a fun thing. Just because you got a big red truck don't make you cool. It just don't make you cool. I know you thought it would, but it don't. It don't get you laid anymore. It don't get you invited to any parties. It don't do any of that shit, You're going to drive by the Grand Canyon 365 times and never see it. But you can do this stuff. We can do this. The load boards are working just like they were intended to work. And if you're starving to death because you depend on them for your living, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. And it's not those brokers' fault. And yeah, they're going to gouge you. And yeah, they're going to screw you. And yeah, they're going to try to get in your pocket. Yeah, they're going to do all that stuff, just like Walmart does by charging you $36. Good night, Michelle. Love you, babe. Appreciate you. They're gonna screw you just like Walmart does by charging $36 for a pair of tennis shoes that they could have sold you for $11 in the first place. But you didn't ask them about that, did you? You didn't walk up to the desk and go, "Hey, these tennis shoes, how much did you pay for them? How much you got in these tennis shoes?" You didn't do that, did you? Because they'd throw your ass out of the store like I do if you call my brokerage and do that. You didn't walk up to the counter at Kroger and go, "How much did you pay for these tomatoes? I want to know how much you got in them." You didn't do that, did you? But you want to do it with me. You want to do it with all these other brokers. Your problem's in the mirror, people. If everyone did this, it would force the big box brokers to change how they do business. Probably not, Michael, but it would cause rates to go up. I don't think it would change their methodology because they're making more money right now than they've ever made in history. I don't think it would change their process any, but it would cause the rates to go up. And they'd be okay with that. They would. They don't care. They don't care. They've got a sales force out there running all over the country, walking in on your customers, trying to explain to them that they've got millions of trucks and they can move it a lot cheaper than these guys with the trailers out there. That's what they tell them. Prove them wrong. It's easy to do. It really is. We've been here for an hour, and as you guys know, I appreciate you. We got to help each other. We got to take good care of each other. I did not do this show tonight to try to make anybody feel bad or small. And please don't take it that way. It was not my intention. My intention is to show you how this stuff works so that you can manage it better, so that you can work around it and build your company and build your strength better. That's what we need to do. If I can help you, stick a note in there. I got a lot of work to do this week. I'm going to be in and out of the shop pretty much all week, which is a good thing. I love it. I admit it. I love it. But if we can help you guys, we'll do it. If you want us to do a certain subject, have a certain guest on here, I'm happy to do that. Happy to do that anytime you want to. But take good care of each other, okay? Take very, very, very good care of each other because we are what we got. Michael say, "I'm leaving the show inspired like I do every week. Can't wait for my lease to be over so I can start doing this." Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I do. That's why I keep doing it. Take good care of each other. Look out for each other. Spend a little bit of time this week. Just a little bit of time taking care of somebody. Just a little bit of time. Take it out. And yeah, sometimes I'll go, "I don't need your help. You can kiss my ass." That's on them, not on you. Good night and happy birthday. Good night and happy birthday. And guys, we love you. I mean it. I'll see you next week about the same time. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise.